Hi, I'm Jack Marcel, Director of Solution Marketing for Forescout. In this presentation, I want to share with you the results of some market research that we conducted in collaboration with SC Magazine. The objectives of the study were to explore this issue: how well are IT security managers' needs being met? The study focused on collaboration between security systems, automation of security controls, and continuous monitoring and mitigation. And if I can summarize what we found in just one sentence, it was that there was a huge gulf between IT managers' expectations and reality. I'll share the details with you in just a minute. The study was primarily designed to explore this issue of collaboration. You can see various types of security products on this slide from various different vendors. The logos are representative of the products in each category. How many of these products are talking with one another? We wanted to find out because we think it's an important issue. And it's not just Forescout who thinks it's important. Gartner also thinks it's important. A little over a year ago, Gartner came out with a security model that they call the Adaptive Security Architecture. And they recommend that every enterprise have 12 different categories of security capability. Going around this chart in a clockwise direction, you can see that some of these capabilities are intended to help predict whether your organization is going to be attacked, and some will help you prevent a security breach, some will help you detect a security breach, and some will help you respond to a security breach. Different categories of products, somewhat like I showed you on the last slide. But Gartner said that the end result should not be 12 silos of disparate information security solutions. The end goal should be that these different capabilities integrate and share information to build a security protection system that's more adaptive and intelligent overall. So, Forescout worked with SC Magazine to conduct a market study, and together we surveyed 345 corporate executives and consultants in North America. Okay, so let me dive into it now. What did we find out? The first question that we asked was this: how many IT security systems do you own? And the answer was quite a few. Over half of the large enterprises, which we defined as organizations with over $1 billion in annual revenue, said that they had 13 or more security systems. And then we asked, how many of your IT security systems share information with each other? And the majority of the respondents said very few. Just 1 to 3 systems directly shared security information. Okay, so then we asked, how many of your IT security systems can automatically mitigate risk or remediate problems? And again, the majority of respondents said a small number, just between 1 and 3 of their existing systems could do this. So next we wanted to find out how important IT security managers believe that information sharing would be. You know, it's one thing for Forescout and for Gartner to say that this is a helpful capability, but we wanted to hear what customers thought, so we asked the question. And here we found a huge percentage. 95% of respondents said that it would be helpful or very helpful. And we asked the same question about automation. And again, we found a huge percentage. 93% of large enterprise customers said that automated mitigation would be helpful or very helpful. Okay, so let me summarize the results so far. We found a huge gap between the current state and the desired state. Few systems are sharing information, and few systems can initiate automated risk mitigation actions, despite the fact that this is exactly what IT managers want to have happen. Okay, now let me present some other results of the survey. We went on to ask respondents, why is more IT security system collaboration helpful? And we received a variety of responses. 97% said that more integrated controls would help identify, investigate, respond, and resolve security incidents. 57% said that automated security controls have allowed or would have allowed their organization to avoid a compromise or to reduce the impact of a compromise that they might have experienced in the last year. And a little over 75% said that more automation would help prevent future compromise. Now, these answers were not mutually exclusive, and that's why the totals add up to more than 100%. We wanted to get reactions to each of these statements. We also explored the issue of continuous monitoring and mitigation. This has been a really hot topic over the past few years, and we wanted to gather some fresh data from customers. So we asked, how continuous are your security processes? 43% said that their security processes are continuous. And we also asked whether the respondents were planning to shift to continuous processes if they were not already doing so. And 64% said yes, they were planning to shift towards continuous monitoring in the next 12 to 24 months. So those were the major conclusions of the market study. And let me just summarize. We found that IT security managers strongly want their products to share information, but few do. We found that IT security managers want automated security controls, but few products are actually doing this. And we found that with respect to continuous monitoring and mitigation, we found slightly less than half the organizations were practicing this today, but most organizations were planning to do this in the future. And we found this huge gap between desire and reality. Now, the reason why we conducted this research and why I'm speaking to you today is because Forescout can help solve these problems today. We strongly feel that fragmented security is problematic. The situation that we see time and time again when we go out into the field and we work with enterprise customers is that the tools do not share information with each other, and therefore people, rather than technology, are required to connect the dots. And as we've all seen in the recent well-publicized attacks that have gone on, the data breaches, we've seen that relying on overwhelmed security teams to sift through all these alerts from dozens of tools is just not working. And all this fragmentation lets attackers in. Verizon recently issued a report, and they said that 70 to 90% of malicious incidents could have been prevented or found sooner if existing logs and alerts had been monitored. And once you have been breached, Ponemon Institute indicates that it takes on average 31 days to contain the attack. And we know that a lot of this delay is caused by the lack of coordination between tools. So how does Forescout help with all these challenges? Well, we have a security platform that does three things. It helps you see every IT device on your network in real time. It helps you control your environment to prevent a breach. And it helps you orchestrate the actions of your existing security tools. So let's dig into each of these areas. You can't protect what you can't see, so let's just start there. We are unique in that we don't rely on agents to gain visibility into your endpoint landscape. And we are continuously monitoring devices coming on and off your network. So what do we see? Well, first off, we see your managed devices. It's PCs, it's Macs, it's network devices, it's mobile devices, laptops, etc. Now, oftentimes, we find that managed devices have issues that go undetected by existing endpoint management and security systems. For example, the antivirus might be out of date, or software patches might not be there, or sometimes the security agents are broken or completely missing. Our customers tell us that they see these anomalies once they have Forescout's product on their network. We also show our customers unmanaged devices on their networks. Forescout automatically identifies unmanaged devices of all types, including emerging IoT devices like Samsung TV monitors, IP-enabled thermostats, any unauthorized mobile device hotspots, for example. We see those things. So this is the picture that most enterprises have today relative to their endpoint landscape, and Forescout makes that visibility gap go away. However, we don't stop there. We also glean information through native integrations with common technologies that are already in your environment. We build a real-time database of information about devices in your environment. So our second function is control. This is about hardening your network to help you reduce your attack surface, ideally to prevent a breach. We provide a range of controls and a great deal of flexibility to deal with issues the right way. The first control that most of our customers like to use is to alert the user. That's via email or a captive portal. And it's also very common for our customers to use our product to segment their network. They can put questionable devices onto guest networks until the devices are brought into compliance. Other actions that Forescout can perform include fixing endpoints, for example, restarting agents that have been stopped or forcing some sort of a patch or an update. And it's also real common to see Forescout sending information to other IT systems, like, for example, SIM systems. And as I mentioned earlier, all of these actions are possible without adding any new agents. And our third function we call orchestrate. This helps you reduce the fragmentation that you currently experience between your existing security products. And we do this by sharing our contextual data, the information that we already know about what's on your network, and automating common workflows between products, leveraging what we call Control Fabric. Forescout Control Fabric is a set of open APIs that makes it possible to interface with lots of different third-party products. Currently over 60 different third-party products, such as the ones shown here. Let me give you an example. One real popular integration is with FireEye. FireEye is really good at detecting indicators of compromise, or IOCs. And once they've done that, they notify Forescout about the incident. Forescout then quarantines that device and scans for that IOC across the enterprise network. And this helps prevent the lateral spread of advanced threats. And of course, customers can use these APIs to create their own integrations with any of their existing, maybe homegrown security systems. So let me show you graphically how IT security is better with Forescout. This is a diagram of a typical environment. And at the top, you see several different kinds of security products already deployed. And of course, you have this large network infrastructure. And no doubt, you have a very large and diverse set of endpoints shown at the bottom of this slide. Forescout's product is a network appliance that talks to all of these things, as indicated by the gray arrows. We glean real-time information from many different sources in your environment, and we can exercise many different types of controls. Now remember, I said we start with C, so we let you see the many different types of devices that are on your network. This is real-time information that does not require the deployment of agents. After C comes control, and we can control network access of each device, each user, based on whatever policies you have in place. In this graphic at the bottom, you can see that Forescout has placed corporate PCs on a different network than BYOD devices, which are on a different network than your Internet of Things devices. And we've blocked access of the rogue device. How do we orchestrate information and actions with your existing security systems at the top of your diagram? Well, let me give you some examples. First, starting with your firewall, we can share information that we know about usernames and IP addresses. We share that information with your next generation firewall to allow it to enforce advanced security policies by user or by group. We share information with your SIEM to help it become more aware of unmanaged devices on your network, like BYOD devices and other risks that we know about. And sort of going in the other direction, we allow your SIEM to trigger automated security controls. No longer does your SIEM just have to send you reports. You can turn it into a real security control trigger that triggers Forescout when it detects a high level of risk in your environment. Then we do something about it. As I previously mentioned, the example of how we work with advanced threat detection products like FireEye and others that you see here to help confirm the extent of an infection in your environment and to help contain a breach. As soon as one of these products believes that an endpoint might have been compromised, Forescout can automatically quarantine that endpoint to prevent further infection or further damage within your network. And we improve the ability of vulnerability assessment systems to scan every new device on your network. As you might know, vulnerability assessment systems are typically programmed to conduct periodic scans, and so they typically miss seeing transient devices. Well, that's a problem, and we solve that problem by triggering immediate sort of just-in-time scans when a new device enters your network. We can also allow your VA system to trigger an automated security control, such as endpoint remediation. Endpoint systems such as antivirus are completely reliant on healthy endpoint agents on every corporate managed computer. Now, what do? Well, we help find and fix broken endpoint security agents, and that allows your security system to trigger network access controls. Patch management systems are another good example of a system that has difficulty working with a transient device. Therefore, Forescout can trigger these systems to patch an endpoint as soon as it comes onto the network. And Forescout can share a wealth of information with patch management systems to help them do their job better. Finally, Forescout works with enterprise mobility management systems to help them more automatically enroll new devices when they come onto your network. It saves time, it saves headache and hassle, it reduces help desk costs, and Forescout allows these mobility management systems to exercise network access control when mobile devices are seen to be non-compliant or compromised. They send us a message, and we can quarantine the device until they return to compliant status. So that, in a sort of a quick tour, is how we work to help your network be more secure and your products work together better. Forescout's products have been recognized throughout the industry as one of the most innovative, one of the most important security solutions. Gartner has named Forescout a leader for network access control based on our ability to execute and our completeness of vision. And we've received dozens of accolades from publications such as the ones you see here. We have about 1,800 customers worldwide, including some of the largest financial institutions, government agencies, healthcare, retail. We have several customers over 100,000 endpoints, and our largest customer has deployed our solution to over 1 million endpoints. So if you want to know more about our product, or if you'd like to see our product in action in your environment, just go to forescout.com. We'll be happy to work with you. And that's the end of this presentation. Thank you for your time. We're very pleased to share the results of this market research, which has had some pretty interesting results.